I'm Christina, and I work at a grocery store. It's one of those places you don't really think about until you spend a whole lot of time there. And it's really interesting to watch the different ways that people approach shopping for the things required for life. You get the entire spectrum of people, sometimes all in one shift. There's most people who don't stand out in any way. They're the bizarre. My favorite is an older, very nicely dressed woman who bought nothing but like 40 air fresheners. Didn't even have coupons. There are the amazing, the ones who buy a stranger groceries because they have that ability and remember when they didn't. But the flip side of the good is the bad. People who argue over pocket change, sometimes literally. Spending 40 minutes insisting that they're not going to pay 79 cents gets them nothing but branded as crazy. People who refuse to put things back where they found them, or worse, try and hide them. Everyone changes their mind sometimes, it's okay, just give the item to the cashier. Then there's the truly awful. For some people, drinking a drink or eating something while they shop and then hiding the evidence for the employees to find when they take down that display 2 weeks later, for some reason is seen as acceptable behavior. The lengths people go to are ridiculous. That's actually stealing, and if someone wants to be a thief, whatever, that's on them. But don't be a thief and a jerk. Throw your trash away, and don't leave it for some poor employee to find, or just pay for it. And as a society, can we agree that there are two places that chewing gum goes? In your mouth and in the trash. Anywhere else is unacceptable, and I'll let you imagine where that one came from. So all this has a point. Watching, interacting with, and cleaning up after these people really got me thinking. We can buy so many things, and man, we got it good in that respect. But we can't buy the things that make us better people. So what if we could? Looking at what we buy and how we shop has a long history in art. When you put the words consumerism and art in the same sentence, where most people go is pop art, where artists sought to elevate the mundane and the everyday and define art. Warhol had his cans, Oldenburg his giant food, Lichtenstein his comics. The three of them even got together with a bunch of other artists and created a supermarket full of fine art pieces masquerading as normal grocery items. But unlike Warhol and his contemporaries, the purpose of this project is not to elevate the everyday, but to take intangible ideas and bring them down to where they're accessible to everyone. Remind people that these things aren't hard to have more of. For my brand, I chose the name Try and Be. The original name I started with was Buy and Be. I wondered if we could buy these things, would it make a difference? So you'd buy a trait and then be that trait. But it's not about buying these things. It's about just trying to have more of these things. And by trying, you are. You try and be. Be more, be better. To package these qualities, I chose a 15-ounce can. The basic can is used to hold all kinds of things, fruits, vegetables. We even have canned bread at work. It's universally recognizable as something that holds the food necessary for life. And also, lined up cans just look really nice and inviting. The choice of package was also part of the choice in creating 5 different designs, as 15 cans line up across the shelf perfectly. As for what to sell, I wanted to choose traits that I saw as things we really needed. So I used a combination of personal experience and polling to select 5 qualities. I chose 5 because human psychology likes odd numbers. Even numbers create symmetry, odd numbers create interest. I chose courage, patience, curiosity, integrity, and compassion. Courage. So I don't have to do it again. Each of these slides shows some very original designs. The design I ended up with initially, and then the final design. You can't actually see the top line of that, and that's the text that is on the back of every can, which you can feel free to take a look at over there. So, courage, because who doesn't need more of that? We all have things we want to do, but for whatever reason can't. Everyone has something they wish they had the courage to do, wrongs that need to be righted, standing up for those who can't. Courage is being bold and about breaking through that mental barrier, like a comic book POW. Patience, because the world needs more patience across the board. More patience with ourselves and especially with other people. Realizing that other people aren't there to get in your way. Patience is calmer, steady, and acts as a bit of a barrier from all the things that can bother us. Curiosity, because it seems sometimes that people have stopped asking why and learning new things. We have only made it as far as we have as a species because we keep asking why and what if. And what if we tried this or went there? Or why is everyone talking about that? Curiosity is energetic and exciting, the thrill of learning new things. So for integrity was a late addition to this project. The original one I chose was tolerance, because that's, it's incredibly important, especially now, but there's a lot of baggage attached to that word. Baggage that led to a 10 or 15 minute conversation every single time it was brought up. It took away from the aim of the project. So I swapped in a trait with less baggage, integrity, chosen because of those people that steal by consumption at work, and people who think that causing trouble is a good way to go through life. Admitting fault leads to learning and growing, being more trusted by others. Integrity is about being honest and trustworthy, a solid, dependable trait. And finally, compassion, because if the world needs anything, it's more people that care enough to help. Fun fact, that's actually what compassion means, going beyond empathy to actually help others. The word roots meaning to suffer together. We've all had hard times, and remembering that can let us help others through their hard times. Remember the person who paid for a stranger's groceries? Compassion is softer, but with a core of strength, and it comes from the heart. So, through all of these designs, the typography of each design shown through as the most important part of making sure the traits kept their distinctive feelings while working to tie them all together as a brand. With the addition of a simple logo and using the colors I chose for each trait with the same layout, the final versions both convey each quality and work together as a single brand. Now, to go with what I'm calling the essentials, I also created the spices. These are the things you don't need, but having them makes life that much better. A sense of adventure, a sense of wonder, and a sense of humor. It's all about finding new perspective and ways to make life more exciting and fun. Now, after all that, I wanted to see if I could actually answer that question I posed at the beginning. What if we could buy the things that make us better people? Would it make a difference, and could I inspire even one person to change? I chose a two-part approach to create action and take the idea to the community, supported by a website, which you see pieces of here, and that is the try-and-b.com. It is on all the posters. It contains information for all of the products. So the first part is a series of posters, one for each trait and the spices, talking about what these traits are and why we need more of them. They use aspects of the can designs to create a cohesive overall package. And these are actually distributed around town to drive traffic to the website and ultimately to the gallery opening. The second is a social media challenge supported by a Facebook page. To make the choice to bring more of these things into your life and share how you're doing it. Show that one person can inspire others to make that same choice. Now, as far as inspiration, packaging the intangible is not something that happens often. The best example of the same kind of idea I found in Frank de la Mercedes Peace Boxes. He creates unique abstract art on boxes that are then shipped all over the world for free to anyone who asks. Each one contains peace, hope, or love, and spread those ideas to thousands of people over the 10 years he worked on this project. In a different type of application, Nail Communications created the Nothing Project to help raise funds for a local food bank. They created a food brand called Nothing and packaged it, advertised it, and sold it as though it was an actual product. Using the same structure as most food brands, they brought the problem, hungry people in the community, to the solution, food in the grocery store. Other artists involved community in their ideas. One that really stuck with me in the course of my research was Candy Chang. She uses art to bring the community together for different purposes. The first project that really stuck with me was the Before I Die project that has been duplicated thousands of times throughout the world. Encourages conversation about death and living life fully. It's up there in the top corner. It's simply spray painted blank words, before I die, I want to, and the community fills them in. The second project of hers was the I Wish That This Was project. Encouraged people to label abandoned buildings with what they wanted to see there, and hope that it would inspire one of the ideas to become reality. Now, when I talk about being more courageous or patient or compassionate, I know that big changes aren't sustainable. I'm not saying that everyone should go spend their every weekend volunteering. If you do, that's awesome. We need more people to do that. But it's not about big things necessarily. Just imagine a world where more people made better choices in their interactions with others. Less road rage because people are being more patient about delays. More people speaking out about wrongs because they have more courage to do so. Shoot, even letting someone into the lane in front of you is technically compassion. We've all been the guy that needs in. If just one of you thinks at some point today, or tomorrow, or in the next day about being more patient, or more compassionate, or being curious about why things work, then this idea works. If you tell someone else about this, either in person or on social media, then it's a rousing success. So try and be more, be better. Questions?
What made you choose this specific color?
I tried to pick colors for each can that I felt worked with the quality and what makes up that quality. Like courage is bold and exciting, so warm, energetic color. Patience is calmer, so that's where the purple. Curiosity is very energetic. Integrity solid, and compassion softer.
This is not a nonsense question. Have you ever struggled in your can to a store? Because it would be interesting to do that and see if that would have some kind of what a person would react to if you find a can like that.
I have actually thought about doing that. In the course of my research, it's actually called shop dropping, where you add products to a store instead of taking them. I have considered that, and I think I might actually take it to my, the store director at work and be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, But as far as actually bringing them in, I don't have to worry because my boss is amazing, and she'd just be like, all right, yeah, you can totally put those on the shelf.
What are the lines underneath? Is that like a scannable bar?
It is actually a barcode that does have the website embedded in it. Yeah, the original, I was actually using that as a logo originally, but then as the project evolved, it determined it needed like a brand logo instead of just that to help tie things together. Way back.
Did you start with just the cans and add the spices later, or did you have the idea that you were going to look like?
It was actually just the cans originally. The spices came as part of a class project. Actually, the class is macro micro, talking about scale in art. And to go along with, my thing I've got going here, what's small in a grocery store, the spices, all the spices you can buy, what spices up life.
Why did you repeat courage, patience, and curiosity's colors in the spices?
It was more keeping the same palette across everything. They're slightly different. Like Adventure is actually a darker green than Curiosity. And Humor actually uses the previous colors for Patience and a earlier version. But yeah, I was just keeping the same color palette across everything.
For the website, promotion for like these products, as well as the Facebook page, did you actually get, responses from people?
Not really yet. I have seen an increase in like, post likes and stuff in the Facebook page recently. I haven't checked on the website analytics because I can't figure out how my hosting provider does that. So.
What are you looking forward to after this project, or after this scene, how it all goes down, all the way down?
I don't know. I hope to keep, find some place to keep displaying this and let it live on. And honestly, I'd love to try to do something along the lines of Warhol's American Supermarket. Just do all kinds of different products. But for right now, it's just going back to work and not having to take time off to work on stuff. Which is cool.
If you'd like to talk to me after, I'd be happy to carry your products in our store.
Absolutely.
It's a very universal product, I guess you can call it. I would love to be part of actually pushing all of this, and I would love to see it in schools, to be honest, like especially putting everything together and constantly hearing about bullying or, doing in retail, like I already know that pain as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would love to see this continue.
I've actually thought about that. We have our next person, I won't spoil his entire presentation, but he's planning a project that's going to start getting school kids involved in some like art stuff. And I've actually thought about, getting with him and figuring out how to work this in with that. In addition to art, reading, hey, be a nicer person.
I work at a production company. If you want to document this in the store, that'd be really cool and empowering to like put out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to do that.
Do you think the, novelty of your approach makes it more accessible for people?
That's kind of the idea. I mean, putting it in a format that everyone knows, that, no matter where you are in the social strata, everyone has eaten something out of a can at some point. You know that when you pick up that can, there's a really good chance that there's food in there. It may not be tasty, but it will sustain you.
Would you ever consider making this into a consumer product that actually purchase?
I have. There's a lot that goes into that. Right now, it's just the cans, which I will totally sell you. But I'm looking at other ways to use the same message. T-shirts and bumper stickers, and that's probably the next step. We'll start working on that over the summer. All right, one more? One more, okay.
What do you think each of these things looks like?
I don't know. I never really thought about what they would actually taste like. Well, whatever it is, they would all be delicious because, they're all important things that everyone needs more of. So we have to make them delicious. All right, thank you.